Hey, what's up you guys? So today's video I'm going to talk about how Grant Cardone is what I think wholetailing. And we'll talk about that once we get into this video. This video is by Vlad TV, so thank you so much for making this video. Credit him, credit Grant Cardone for this interview. But I think Grant Cardone is really making his millions from wholetailing, and the reason why is I think that yes, he might be making money passively over time, monthly, while he's doing it. He's making money on the entry, he's making money on the middle end, and he's making money on the back end. The really smart thing that Grant's doing, making him millions and millions of dollars, but I think he's making most of the bulk of his money on the back end. And here, let's get into the interview of how he's. So in this video. Now, the verbiage can be messed up. What the interviewer asked is, said, so when you sold it, did you make $4 million? Grant Cardone kind of steps back a little bit, thinks about the actual number of it, and he said just shy of $4 million. What he's talking about is he sold it, he bought it, he said, for $32 million, sold it, made $4 million more on it, so $36 million that he sold it on the back end, plus he had an 8% cap rate that he probably paid his investors. So his investors probably got to pay the 8% on top of Grant probably got an acquisition fee or a fee in between on the cash flow that he made from the deal, but his bulk of his money is getting paid on the back end, and that's why he's not holding these deals for that long. He just said that he's held the deal for 34 months. 34 months is less than 3 years. I mean, on a huge multifamily deal, yeah, it's great because you have so much money, $32 million with a 3% appreciation, let's say, quote unquote, and it's boom, 369, that's 9% appreciation just on a part of 3 years, on top of he can increase the rents $50 per door, $100 a door every single year. And then what happens is these, what was called the group, when you look up largest real estate hedge funds, the Blackstone group, which I assume and I think that he's selling to, then he can demand a higher price because he's done all these things. He's held it, he's let it season. He's on top of that, he's also got the rents up. He's got the occupancy up, and he's also had the appreciation. He's let it sit for a little bit to make a little bit more money, and then he sold it to these groups, this hedge fund. The reason why I think it's that hedge fund is because he's spoken in other videos about. He's saying, "Hey, I know one of my buyers. I know the buyer that I work with," and then boom, he hits it with that, and then he says, well, I've never heard him talk about the Starwood or Brookfield. The Blackstone group is the only one I've heard him talk about. And, that's because he did what I speak about in my regular residential wholesaling, is that finding the buyer first. He found the buyer first. He knows what they're going to pay for it. We call that the buy formula. Whatever our buyer's going to pay, that's the buy formula. That's their max allowable offer. That's their Mayo formula. So when their max allowable offer, let's say, Grant figures it out, he says, well, if I do the math, if I let this appreciation, I could put to occupancy, maybe I do a roof, maybe I do this to it, do the bare minimum to where I could sell it off to them for the bare minimum max allowable offer that they can give for him to make some money, then he'll do it. And so here on point, he was talking about making $4 million, and it was a rough deal because as a wholesale deal, $32 million, he only made $4 million. Yes, it's a shit ton of money.